hey, what's up? Come in. It's raining heavy. It sucks. Thankfully, I haven't had to go outside yet today, so that's positive. You didn't get soaked, did you? I got an extra umbrella if you need it. On the way out. Yeah, great. Yeah, we'll start where you left. We left off last time. Oh yeah, first you had the little quiz I printed up. Thanks. Yeah, I'll look over this real quick. See how you did. Oh yeah, here you go. You need a pen? Yeah, take this. Let me just find out. I know most of these by heart, but where is it? Okay. Yeah, let's just I'll just go over the answers real quick. Yeah, you guys want to run them. Okay. Right. Yeah, I mean, it's nice to do these little easy mock quizzes. Some of these questions will definitely be on your actual test, but some probably won't be, but I try to kind of figure it out. I got the answer thing here. I know some of these answers myself from when I took the class myself. It's crazy after like this amount of time, they're still using these same books. Yeah. Back in the day, they would, like, every 2-3 quarters, sometimes, not quarters, sorry, years, they would flip the new book and stuff. It's like ridiculous. These things are expensive. Yeah, I know. What'd you say it was? It's like 80? Surprisingly, it hasn't gone up too much. It was around, I think, 70, 65, 70 when I got it. So, at least that's something, right? Right. Right. Wrong. Got all of them right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wrong on that one. Alright, so you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I got 2 wrong out of the 15. Yeah, and we'll be talking more about that stuff today, so. And you take this back. Yeah, these things are pretty key, but teachers have to, professors should have a. Yeah, I mean, they probably have new ones. So how's the class been treating you? I haven't seen you in, what was it? Been about a week. Hey, would you only have about 2 to 3 classes of it then? It's been going good. It's always good to have, get extra help from somebody. Almost, yeah, exactly right. To keep you fresh and yeah, continuing to do what you need to do. That's key. Keep your mind fresh, because sometimes this stuff, especially for me, I don't know if it's the same with you. This stuff, like, it's just like if I'm not almost constantly thinking about it and studying stuff, like, it goes out of my, something takes its place. I start playing a game or something, and next thing Crackdown 3 is on my mind, and I'm like, what was I studying? Stuff like that. You're similar? Yeah. All right. We were on. You got your book, right? All right. Yeah, sorry. Huh. Okay. We're on chapter 6 with the mood disorders. So. It does, right? It does look a little bit like Richard Dreyfuss. Okay. Did you read any of this? You guys gone over this yet? You have? Yeah. Well, sure, yeah. That's why I kind of wanted to do a little bit of tutoring with abnormal psych. I have a little bit of my own history and experience to play off of, which sometimes can help. Alright, so we went over the causes of dissociative identity disorder and other dissociative disorders, and went over the statistics and courses for that disorder. Just making sure we, dissociative trance disorder. Sorry. Like I said, I've already forgotten it again. Yeah. Yeah, they're going to talk about the case of Katie here. Yeah. Yeah, she found this. Yeah, this is something that I actually relate to. Right here it says, she found it difficult to go to school for several years. In fact, she seldom interacted with anybody outside her family besides because of her considerable shyness and social anxiety. I'm a little different. I can talk with my own friends and stuff. Mine is a little different. Yeah, when I was in school, I would have these paranoid, I could know everybody in the class, but you get so paranoid that you're like, I think everybody's looking at me and stuff. Very weird, just unnecessary things in my head, thoughts in my head. But as going to school became more difficult, her social contacts decreased, her days became empty and dull. By the time she reached 16, the psychological problem blocking out the sun in her life was a deep, all-encompassing depression. Now, this is an important thing here because this is how she describes her condition. The experience of depression is like falling into a deep, dark hole that you cannot climb out of. You scream as you fall, but it seems like no one hears you. Some days, you float upward without even trying. On other days, you wish that you would hit bottom so that you would never fall again. Depression affects the way you interpret events. See, that's interesting. It affects the way you interpret events. Now, what do you think of that? Yeah, absolutely. That's absolutely right. It's the same thing with me. And once again, I think part of the reason you chose me to tutor, and that's why I do it sometimes, is because I have experience with this kind of stuff myself, so it helps to get that kind of perspective. And you said as well that you've experienced some of this stuff also. But now it affects the way you interpret events. So and it's not even just events; it's actions of people. Like with me, if I'm really feeling down, I'm looking at people's, when I'm talking to a person, I'm looking at their facial expressions, and I'm immediately, of course, going with these paranoid thoughts. I'm thinking, why do they look that way? Oh, did I say something that upset them? Why do they look that way? And what are they thinking? Always trying to read too much into things where it's not necessary to do so. In interpreting events, just anything that happens, you might think of them, they went differently in your head, or you saw them differently from the other people did because your mind's doing that thing. You're getting paranoid. You're projecting yourself onto the other people, so you're acting as though your reactions are theirs. Yeah, that's absolutely right. It influences the way you see yourself and the way you see other people. I remember looking in the mirror and thinking I was the ugliest creature in the world. Later in life, when some of these ideas would come back, I learned to remind myself that I did not have those thoughts yesterday. Chances were that I would not have them tomorrow or the next day. It was a little like waiting for a change in the weather. It's actually a very good way to help yourself, self-help yourself even. That idea comes in your head. It's if it pops into your head once every 3 months, it ain't a consistent thought. It ain't real, it ain't true. It's you just getting paranoid or self-conscious, thinking the worst as always, because you get in this train of thought where I'm always thinking about the failure or screwing up, and it takes over and it's hard, or the fear. especially going back to events, is my own kind of experience. It's like, I have something that's coming up, and I know it's going to be fun, but the way I think, I'm thinking about it constantly because I'm afraid about my anxiety and everything. So I'm thinking bad things, and I'm not thinking to enjoy it. I'm just thinking about getting it over with and getting through it instead of enjoying it. And sometimes you got to retrain your brain to think the right positive way instead of negatively. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Yeah, there's a couple things. I mean, they have the case of Jack here. I like how they have these little things here because they're quick little blurbs. The case of Jane and the case of Billy is also in there. It's a nice little chart here. Yeah, I'd circle that. Yeah, they'll definitely go over this. You got atypical, melancholic, chronic, catatonic, psychotic, with postpartum onset. And you got the specifiers. Mood disorders on the side. That would be the specifier. So it has it all leading into depressive episode, manic episode, hypomanic episode as well. So some go to different things. Depressive episode, chronic, everything goes to it. And then either, the atypical will go to this, I can't say this word, I know what it means, but yes, thank you. Then you have major depressive disorder, single episode, major depressive disorder, current, and then it goes into double depressive. Mood disorders and specifiers are for the most recent episode of the disorder. And depressive mode will even go to bipolar disorder 1 and 2. Manic is also the bipolar also. Chronic feature specifier. This specifier applies only if the full criteria for a major depressive episode has been met continuously for at least the past 2 years. Dysmorphic disorder is not considered here because for that disorder, a duration of at least 2 years is one of the primary diagnostic criteria. So that they're looking at, for it to be chronic, it's got to be at least 2 years, which is crazy to think about, but some people go through this stuff 15, 20, 25, 30 years. Yeah. Definitely focus on this. I would highlight some of this, like the melancholic features disorder, psychotic feature specifier, postpartum onset specifier, because they're all different specifiers. And there's also different ones, different time frames, different triggers for them and stuff like that. Yeah, that's right too. Seasonal pattern specifier is also interesting because it applies to both bipolar disorders and to recurrent major depressive disorder. It refers to episodes occurring during certain seasons of the year. For instance, winter depression. Once again, certain seasons like winter, especially winters up here in the north, and anywhere cold, it gets colder out. The trees, they lose their leaves, the grass dies, everything's dead, it's overcast like every damn day. And you get depressed, it's hard to get happier thoughts there if that's the kind of personality you have. That will certainly trigger that. For you get depressed and whatnot. And all of a sudden the weather starts to perk up. You have that first day out in the 60-degree weather. You feel perkier. You're like, there's a little more jump in your step. Yeah, exactly, So that's exactly why they'll move to the southern states, Florida or something, where it's warmer year round. And a lot of people have said that winter depression's gone because they don't have the cold weather. It's not even as much the cold weather. It's always overcast. Months like February, January, March, you get a lot of overcast days. Leaves are gone. Grass is brown. It's very dull and dreary. It got snow, and snow looks all pretty at first. Snow hits the ground, gets crushed, it turns into gray sludge. It's disgusting. So it really, it hurts, Especially the lead up to winter. Also will get people worried because they'll start thinking, oh no, here we go again. So, yeah. It says, mood disorders are different in children and adolescents as well. Yeah, mood disorders in the elderly as well, because this stuff don't go away. Sometimes it disappears for a while. But your brain changes. We don't know 5% about what the brain's capable of, or what your own mind is capable of, you know? Yeah, here it mentions. So he goes back to the case of Katie as well. Yeah, but she's always crying. Yeah, you didn't pet her when you came in. Yeah, she wants attention. She's annoying. Give her a quick pet. Calms down 2 minutes. You don't have to worry about these disorders, do you? Context is always key too. You have your immediate situation, and you want your understanding and meeting. Context is another thing with people with depression. Things, you know, they change the context of things, what they hear in their mind. The context is different, and they always make the context negative, especially if it's about them, if they feel like it's something about them. It's not even that they're selfish and that they're making it about them. It's just the way they think. They're always thinking. They're not thinking positively, negatively. So, what'd that person think of me? You know, and stuff like that. Learned helplessness theory of depression. Here we go. Often overlooked is Siegelman's point that anxiety is the first response to a stressful situation. Anxiety may then be followed by depression, which marked hopelessness about coping with the difficult life events occurs. Yep. Anxiety always gets to, this is, you know, how people are. We're depressed. Anxiety. I know it's myself. You know it. It's like, you know, the anxiety of like a big meeting or something. You're getting anxious beforehand. You're already working yourself up. You know. And then you start to get depressed about it, especially if it goes wrong. A whole line of things. And then you get to that hopelessness. And you've led yourself down. It's like a domino effect. You lead yourself down here. It's so hard to get out of. Yep, here's another one. Negative connotations. And you have the world, about the self, you know, about the future, same thing. You project that stuff onto everything. It starts with yourself, and then everything. Actually, it starts with yourself. Kind of future and world could be the same. Yeah, it's everything around you. And your own future, and then the whole world around you. It all plays into it. You have social and cultural dimensions as well. Men, marriage, stress, and depression. The ultimate life stress. Here it says men are more likely than women to develop a mood disorder following divorce or separation. I would focus on this chapter pretty heavily. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Table 6.8. Specifics. Sorry. Symptoms specific to anxiety and to depression, as well as symptoms that are shared by both states. So you have pure anxiety symptoms, pure depression symptoms. Pure anxiety symptoms, they have apprehension, tension, edginess, trembling, excessive worry, nightmares. Pure depression symptoms, helplessness, depressed mood, loss of interest, lack of pleasure, suicidal, ideation, diminished libido. And then mixed anxiety and depression symptoms, negative effect. So this can go with both. Anticipating the worst, worry, fatigue, guilt, poor memory, early insomnia, unsatisfying sleep, hypervigilance, crying, sense of worthlessness, middle-late insomnia, poor concentration. Yeah, depression, it's bad, and there's people it's so bad, they can't even get out of bed. It's so bad, man. That feeling of worthlessness and stuff, it affects them in so many different ways. Yeah, it's going to affect everybody around you. Exactly. And there's some other charts here, you know. Always go to the charts. Make yourself a little bit of a chart, too. Kind of add little things to it, little things to it and stuff. Your own little twists and things to it. Kind of sometimes helps. This Prozac, a breathtaking drug for depression. This is old. It's not the big dog anymore, unfortunately. There's so many drugs, right? And they have treatments for depression here. A lot of good charts and stuff. Definitely focus on this, though. Especially... Did I lose it? No. Especially this chart. Focus on this chart a lot. Come up with scenarios in your head that would lead to some of these things and how they go and the paths they take. Definitely work that in. Yep. Here's a nice little thing, concept check. Match the word to its definition. A, mania. B, hypomanic episode. And so on. Major depressive episode, bipolar. Yeah. Make a little thing, Maybe we'll do that after. Make a little chart and then come up with like certain one, which one fits into each category. Some 2 or 3 will fit into. Yeah. All right. That seems to be good for now. No, you've been going over a little bit, so hopefully us coming at you from both sides will help keep it there. Keep it in your head and whatnot. I'll come up with another thing for this for next time to give you to take. Yeah, I can find some good questions in here for sure. Yeah, I'll print up another little mini test and 15 questions, see what you do. Because when do you think you're going to have a test in there? Oh, yeah, right. It's plenty of time. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah, that gum's a little too much. Yeah, sure. Nah, it looks like it still might be coming down. You want that umbrella? Yeah, it's out by the steps. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, keep the pen. Have I given you 3? Yeah, don't worry about it. I got plenty of them. Yeah, we got like 45 in a bag. I think it came from Bulbous Clearinghouse. I don't know. Yeah, it was good to see you again. Sure, yeah, thanks. Thank you very much. Yeah, good luck with that. If you have any questions, just text me or whatever, or call or something. Send me an email and I can get back to you as soon as I can. Yeah, I'll be home the rest of the day. All right? All right, enjoy your day. Yeah, it's down by the umbrella's down by the door. All right. Okay. That went well. Now to makeup.